slides. I'm going to talk to you about integral futuring. Futuring is a science of forecasting the future. It's also about what to do when it gets here. I'm going to talk to you a lot about how much the world's changing and how surprising that really is. There's a great deal of change happening, and it's happening on an exponential level. We live in exponential times. When you're dealing with exponential change, it's faster, 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 faster. That means that the things that are happening today in an exponential world are going to get worse, 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 and worse, and better, 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 and better. And what happens is people get surprised by it. Businesses, industry, all kinds of different factors of society get surprised. This is computing power, the number of chips on a transistor, or number of transistors on a chip. Moore's law says it doubles every 2 years. If that continues, there's already a chip in development, a biochip in Israel that's 500,000 times more powerful than anything in the world right now. The computing power that's coming in the next few years is just staggering. It will blow your mind. This is carbon emissions by region. The U.S., China, and India are coming on board. It's a hyper-exponential curve. If you're looking at what that's going to do to the environment and the consumption overall, it's massive change across the world, and it's stressing every social system that we have. This curve is internet users. It's just simply use going up again at a very steep rate. Not everything you can say is exponential. But almost every factor of society right now is changing in a massive pace. 1.65 billion users by 2010 is going to change marketing, industry, and every facet of society. So the population of the world started to go up around 1950 on this exponential trend. You'll see here that China will level off somewhere around by 2010. Potentially, if it keeps going, we're looking at 16 billion people by 2100. Or by 2100. That's huge amounts of people and systems that really aren't built to support it. Businesses rising up and failing exponentially. They're being deleted, added, or redefined in record numbers. Whole industries are being added, deleted, or redefined. Not just businesses in general, but entire industries. There's a lot of different exponential curves. I obviously don't have time in 20 slides, but these are a few. Biodiversity is one big one that's important. Everywhere that biodiversity reduces, poverty increases. As that happens, people are finding out it was important. It's also one of the few things that's extinction level event. This chart shows how, as we go up in an exponential curve, at the same time, many of these technologies are converging. Information, cognitive science, biotech, nanotech are all converging. That means things are also getting simpler. They're not just increasing fast, they're getting simpler. Transformation helps you figure out how to deal with that. Charles Ostman talked about transformation, and he said that it's a xenomorph is the goal. That's something that can adapt continuously to change in a way that it's really seen as a near real-time adapter engine. So if you want to know what your business or what your education or what your society needs to look like, it needs to look like a xenomorph. These are different methods, and I'm not going to go into them today, but there's a lot of different methods that are emerging to deal with this change that's happening faster, faster, faster. So transformational change, transformational leadership, emergent strategy. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about integral dialogue. It's just one method. Everything today is integral. You can't really move one peg on the board and not affect something on the other side. Every facet of society affects each other. So if you're talking about going to make a change or do something, and you're not thinking in an integral way, you're probably going to end up with some kind of failure. Paul Ray and Sherry Ruth wrote a book. They actually did a study And they found out that the entire American society is beginning to transform. Right now it's at the stages of starting. We're moving from a technocratic society to an integral culture. And they did, in this study, they found there's 3 different sets of values that are emerging. The traditionalists, 29%, which are the conservatives. Modernists, which are about 47%, are materialistic and success-driven. And the cultural creatives are 24% and growing rapidly. They're altruistic, spiritual, environmentally conscious, and disenchanted with materialism. So this group is growing extremely fast. I think there's a few of them in here. And if you look at the chart, they actually started at different times, but this is the only time in history they've been existing together. And you can't expect this group to grow. It's actually quite massive right now, a population about the size of France, and there's every indication it's going to grow. However, if you ask them how many people are like them, they all say hardly any, just a few, okay? Therefore, they work in silos, their efforts all overlap, they conflict, they have all kind of trouble working together across the lines because they're so individualistic and they are so creative. This is an example of the anti-aging pill, a change that's coming in the next 20, 30 years, maybe even sooner, maybe 10 years. It hits every facet of society. If that came out today, it could collapse our entire global society, okay? If a cultural creative got a hold of this, they'd be working in one piece, not across the whole picture. Integral dialogue, then, is simply turning the conversation in so that these folks see each other and work together, okay? They're not out all trying to change little pieces individually in different directions, but they start to unify and see one direction, engage the world the same way. Integral dialogue is group problem solving toward an integral solution. Cultural creatives are really revolutionary, but they resist influence, political influence. They are really going to be attracted to grassroots, open, and sophisticated tools for transformational change.
Smaller Indiana.
Yes, exactly. And there are many different labels or names that are associated with these people. You might see it as an artistic thing, but it's not. There are open source economic developers, community transformers, social entrepreneurs, environmentalists, and it exists at every level, all the way up to the global level. I've had conversations at the global level, and I've had conversations with smaller Indiana. Thanks, everybody.